Hello everyone, this is Peter Stone, and once again reporting from the sea. Only I'm on dry land for a change and enjoying the moment. So I just finished 6 hours in the studio in Cape Ann TV, and the subject of today's podcast and TV show was "It's Your Lucky Day," and it's based on Peter Ragnar's book, The Science of Luck. So I talked about what I've learned in the last 6 years from that amazing book, In the Science of Luck, when we observe and we separate and we are present and paying attention as an observer in life and actually creating our luck. I had a really good time, so the podcast was a great practice for the TV show, and if any of you are going to do a TV show or a video, I would suggest you try, or don't try, just do a podcast or a practice video before you go into the studio, and find out when you have a time constraint. Like my TV show is only 30 minutes, but last time I went 36 minutes, and I told the director, I said, well, you know, how are we going to work this out? I said, you can slice it and dice it. And she said, not necessary, we'll work around it. And today, because I practiced, or I didn't really practice, but I did a podcast, which is allowable to go more than 30 minutes. You use the time that you need to use. And I did the TV show in 30 minutes and 1/2. So I was pretty much right on, structuring and understanding where I ran over on my time. And I really had a great time. My favorite subject subject is, I am an amazing good luck generator, just as you are an amazing good luck generator. We not only generate energy and not only generate our strength, our vibrancy, our life, and our, well, I don't know the other way to say it, but our vibrancy and energy, then with that, our luck actually gets better because we're in a higher place. And when I was done with that, I drove to the cafe where they have this wonderful coffee for a treat of a locally brewed roasted coffee, and decided to take the scenic route and do a little chill, because this morning my meditation time was only 5 minutes, but it was 5 minutes and 4 seconds to be precise, and it was fine and dandy, but it seemed to be a split second, quite frankly. So on my way back to Manchester by the Sea, to my office and studio there, I drove through a little town called Magnolia, Massachusetts, between Gloucester and Manchester. And I saw the farmer's market, and then I drove down past this beach and these rocks. It's not a beach, it's really just the rocky New England coast. And I started eating rosehip flowers. For those of you who are aware, rosehips are what they put in high vitamin C capsules and things, and I just figure it's better to eat them raw and fresh right off the organically grown tree here. All up there in front of my car and behind my car are nothing but wild rosehip bushes. And the size of the rosehip this year, last year there was no rain, this year there was a lot of rain. So the rosehips are getting to be the size of small tomatoes, which is amazing. And they are so delicious and sweet. You have to cut them in half, take out the seeds. Some people bake the seeds and some people bake the rosehips. You can make tea out of them. And they're so high in vitamin C, super high. And very well-rounded vitamin C, just not one part of vitamin C. It's a whole formulation of, wild vitamin C. So the tea that you can make, and then furthermore, there is, if you look in the marketplace, rose water. And what rose water is the rose buds poured with hot water, and that's it. And it sits and steeps. You can put a little manuka oil in there, or some aloe vera, or seaweed, or whatever you want to mix in there. But the rose water I use for aftershave, along with fresh squeezed lime juice. So it's amazing all the food that's around us. Pine needles, dandelions, all kinds of flowers and wild pea pods, blackberries. I didn't see any raspberries, occasional strawberries. Why go to the market? These are alive and fresh, growing all over the place. And people say, oh, a food shortage? I'm like, really? Look in your backyard, and at low tide right here, you can go have a feast. A feast. Well, right over here. At high tide, someone's fishing for their dinner. At low tide, I will be down there getting sea moss and the same seaweed that they wrap sushi in is down there, as well as rockweed. It's all super delicious. And not only is it delicious, it's really good for you because there are minerals and vitamins and things that we don't get on land. And the water here is pretty clean. It's pretty far out from a polluted area. So when we that way, maybe I'll move. Seem to be dropping out here. Maybe I'll move for a little better connection. So out there is an island called Kettle Island, and there's lots of food. I was just going to Google to see about staying out there for an evening in my tent and get some quiet time, some really quality thinking time, surrounded by the sea and all of the great ions that are crashing up from here. So on my way back from the studio, I ended up here. And I opened the windows and I could hear the waves. And what waves do to me, I'm like instantly mesmerized. I go into almost an automatic state of meditation. And I just stopped, parked my car, ate some rosehip flowers, rosehip flower buds, and the rosehips are not quite ripe yet, so I don't want to pick those. And then parked the car and walked down these rocks. It's all about just flowing with life, and I would say I am pretty lucky to sit here and do my meditation. Enjoy the silence of my mind, soothed by the crashing waves. Just a continuous life force flowing that permeates through every cell in your body. And when you breathe that salt energized air, it's amazing. So yes, a lucky day indeed. A lucky day is every day, really, to enjoy the sea crashing all around. Is simply meditative and beautiful. Oh, pardon my hair. Just meditative and beautiful. Not so maddening. And really, right here, I am 40 minutes from Boston. That's it. 40 minutes. Peace, tranquility, but certainly you can be in Boston and find peace and tranquility. It's not a requirement to come to the sea. And you could just say the words, release, for relief. Release for relief. So if the sea or these waves are useful as a meditation tool for you as they are for me, then I've made a 1-minute clip that you can just cycle and cycle it, keep it playing, or a 2-minute clip if you want to listen to the waves before you go to bed. There's nothing, I'm not talking or anything, it's just the waves and the sea. So I also have nighttime in the ocean off of Nahant. Just imagine the waves. I was really high up on the rocks and the waves were quite large and very impactful. Another beautiful moment. So I wanted to share this centered moment where there is really nothing to say, where there is nothing, yet there is everything. The sea, there's nothing but water. That's it. Water, a couple puffy clouds, nothing really here. If I go out of sight, you'll know it was a rogue wave. Bam. It's always good to have a little risk in life, or a lot of risk. Then I guess I would take the next step called struggle. Allow myself to struggle back to safety, but hey, it's part of the process. The risk, the struggle, the living, the loving, and the mattering. It's all here, it's all there, it's all everywhere. And if I could explain to you, while I face southeast, that direction from which the wind is blowing, and explain to you the wind is probably about 11 or 12 knots, like riding a bicycle into the wind, and ever so gently you can hear the wind creating a stereo effect on both ears, coupled with the waves that is like nature massaging your entire being, mental, physical, and spiritual. Something like it's priceless, okay? There's no price tag on this. This is the gift that I post, that when you are one with the universe, you own it. You own all the sea, and you own all the sun and the stars. And the universe, all of it, belongs to each and every one of us. To me, to you, to the rest of the world. And sometimes without that appreciation, that gratefulness, and that realization, we miss. We miss the beauty of life. Packed up in a box someplace. However, we can create our beauty in those boxes as well. Every place has its usefulness. So as I was on my way to my creative space, I envisioned my desk and doing a lot of work tonight, tomorrow. The next 4 days is writing, recording, writing, recording more, and writing, and creating questions for the mastermind group. And I am eternally grateful for this moment to clear my head. Not that I had a whole lot in there to clear up, but to get further centered into my creative space. It's just what I was speaking about today. Really connecting to all that is, was, and will be, gives you the power to do all the things that it is that you set out to do in a day, in a week, in a life, in a year, making 2017 your best, luckiest year yet. the magic again of the sea from a different perspective. Just getting centered for 4 days of massive creativity. I was given the gift of this meditative moment by the sea. Driving by from curiosity, just plain old curiosity, wondering what is down to the sea. And I mentioned earlier I hadn't finished my meditation this morning, so I get to conclude here with all the charged ions from the sea and the minerals from the sea. The magical, natural movement of the waves, totally in synchronicity with life and its natural flowing energy, and centering into that, being grounded on this rock, connected to the above with water almost everywhere. Lends itself to a major gift for me, a priceless gift that is something very special. When you can find the magic in the moment wherever you are, and I know there's a lot of you that do that, and keep on, keep that energy up. And if you don't, just hit the switch. Hit that switch, go into your center, connect, and be creative. Be the creative person you are. Get it out, get it up, rock and roll with all that is, was, and will be, with the magic of the sea. So I was saying earlier, I made a couple of videos just of waves for those of you that may want to listen to it while you're going to bed. You can make a loop, an endless loop out of that for however long you want. One is 1 minute, one is 2 minutes. I have some 5-minute loops from last year in Nahant, Mass with very large waves. So there's a variety. And I'm not sure how this is sounding on your end, but we'll find out in a while. So enjoy the magic. Take a break. Close your eyes, just listen. You don't need to look. If you want to look. Get up off that computer, get up, walk around with your phone. Go lay down, rest, stretch, bend. Take that 5-minute break. Get that energy cleaned up. Get recharged, refreshed, alive, vibrant, energetic. And till you go to sleep, you should be wide awake. And when you go to sleep, you close your eyes and you sleep. There's none of this. You should not be going like downhill from 8, 9, 10, 11. You should be strong and steady until you get tired. Boom, go to sleep. Go to sleep, get your rest that you need. Okay, well that's it, and I will post a few videos, or you could just request it.